I don't know. This is just something I thought to add to recovery days that we do with the team is what I call lymph wrapping or lymphatic wrapping, which is you just go circumferentially, so 360 degrees. You go tight, and then you go a little looser, and then a little looser, and a little looser. So you start distally and come proximally, which means like you start downstream and come upstream toward the heart, toward the body. And it kind of creates a pumping and squeezing because it's tighter at the bottom, looser at the top. And it just mimics, it's like the poor man's version of a recovery pants, of those compression pants.
Yeah.
So, I think it's, mic down. I think it's shitty that the general strength and conditioning community wants to make an excuse when, even just put a pair of wraps on and do a get up that like a Turkish get up and some swings, and you're done. And the other thing that I tell my athletes at the Aztecs is I tell the guys, keep wraps with you, and throughout the workout, anything that's bugging you, wrap it up, but continue the workout. So if they're doing back extensions, but their arm or shoulder's bothering them, who cares? Just wrap up your shoulder, do some back extensions, getting up and down off of the extension itself, right?
Yeah.
Is going to use the shoulder,
big
move,
time.
just do some arm swings, like stretch your shoulder in between sets. Like, if you're doing push-ups and your quads tight, it doesn't matter. Everything's full body. So just slap a wrap on it and continue the workout. Take it off when you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the Voodoo wrap is like one of the most essential tools. I took it with me on my trip to Idaho recently, actually. And it was so useful. I was on a plane for a long period of time. I did take my double ball too, and I put it on my back, and I strapped my seatbelt really tight so I could stay up.
Seat smash.
Yeah, seat smash the entire trip. There was this old man next to me. He's like, "Can I get one of those?" And I had an extra double ball on me, so I gave it to him, and I strapped him in. And he's like, "Oh, I could really feel this." I'm like, "Yeah, you should. You should feel this." And we sat in the flight for 2.5 hours. We talked for a long period of time about mobility. He started to forget the ball was there, which was great because he was distracted. He got off the flight and he felt so good. He's like, before I came on this flight, I felt like pains and aches to my back. And just from doing this, I feel so much better. Imagine like the rest of the strength and conditioning world. Imagine the athletes. After they go work out, what are they probably doing? Like sitting around? Yep. And that's worse. That's so much worse.
I would say, oh my God, I just blanked, like, Halo's coming out, but what's the big game, the war one?
The Halo game or the...
No, like, not SOCOM. I'm so out of touch with video games. Not Medal of Honor. Oh my God.
Metal Gear? No.
Anyway.
World of Warcraft? I've been thinking of all of the games I know.
If any of my athletes play World of Warcraft, that's not good.
You're done. You're done.
That's lame.
Yeah,
that's just lame.
But it is so vitally important, and it's kind of part of the whole go all in on yourself. Cash in all your chips. Like, do you really want to just go sort of in on yourself and get sort of results or kind of results, or do you want to go all in and get all the results? And I think it's hard to do in practical terms. Like, in theory, like it's easy to like say let's just do everything. If we were like on it as a human being, like on it all the way through, our nutrition was down, our mobility was down, our breathing was down, all that stuff, we would be like perfect human beings. But I think it's the pursuit of being all in, the pursuit of going all in. Are you committed? And if you're not committed, recommit every day. Recommit to yourself. Like you're worth it. You are freaking worth it. Like,
yeah, I mean it's actually in a way. So I was at the Stone this morning, Austin Stone, and in church, and the pastor was actually talking about a couple of different things about sort of like the cycle of like sin and remorse in your life, and how that's different than breaking it through. Like there's a difference between being broken by something that's holding you. That's kind of holding you in a bad cycle, or having remorse. And like that remorse is really about selfishness, or like about yourself, right? It's like you-centered, where being broken is sort of like God-centered. And it made me think about the fact that when you do something repetitively, I mean, regardless of whether it's being unfaithful in a relationship or something, right? Like, it's more about the disharmony in your life, right? I mean, like, you're not just, if you're thinking about getting caught and you're thinking about like damage control, that's remorse, because you'll never really be able to create harmony in your life unless there's a sense of being broken, right? Like that lowest point that like you feel that, oh, I didn't just screw up. I hurt my relationship with my own harmony, with the world, with God, with my wife, with my, whatever. It's like, it's all those things are connected in that you've broken that harmony, and that will be something that will continue in a spiral of like, you'll have remorse. So it's sort of like you sin, then you have guilt, and then you have fear over being found out, and then you have remorse, and then you sort of get this self-reliance after remorse, like, oh, like I will never do this again, I'm strong enough, and it becomes this me-centered thing, right? But you then get sucked into temptation or whatever it is, and it's like it always comes back, and you just kind of continue in this spiral of sinning, and then guilt, and fear, and then remorse, and then self-reliance. And I loved it because the really crux of it was, you will not break that cycle until you're really truly broken up about the disharmony you've created in yourself, and how that reverberates through the world, and it affects God, and how that affects you, and like you need to step in. And it's like you're saying, like, renew your commitment every day. Well, also, like, I was sitting there, and I was looking around, and I had this weird epiphany, and I was like, every person here doesn't even recognize anyone else. And like, what I mean by that is like, everyone is their own all-star. Like, you're the all-star of your own game, because you're the entity living it. So you're the all-star. Like, it's not like someone else is the all-star in your game. You are. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, well, if I'm always the all-star, then am I letting anyone else play? One. And two, if I'm always the all-star, can I even see that is that remorse cycle always going to be about my fix, because I'm the one who's so good, I'm the all-star in my own life, that I should be the one to fix it, where there isn't that surrender that like God is actually the all-star. Like, and you can define that however you want. Like, that's that harmony, that energy, whatever it is. But to me, like, God is that all-star. And if that's, I kind of had this revelation. I was like, well, if we all thought that way, maybe when we did things that hurt us, whether it's eating poorly, or, not taking care of our bodies, or not sleeping enough, or it's some relationship, or, whatever else foundationally, business, money, career, like, if we do these things that, like, we don't really accept the disturbance that we create, and we can't stop it.
Wow. Boom! Hitting you with them deep bombs. Truth bombs. Deep truth bombs. Wow. I mean, that's
I don't know, it's
deep. It's deep, bro. No, I like that, though. I think it holds people accountable in a lot of ways,
Drink more water.
Yeah. It holds them accountable big time. I think it's very difficult for people to see that kind of perspective, or even keep that into their awareness constantly every day.
But I think that's people.
I think it's people.
Human.
It's human, yeah.
I mean, it's me.
I think that's the whole part of like recommitting, is like understanding that, it is going to slip you, but are you willing to recommit to yourself? So that everything around your life benefits, not just you, but you are this echo, this vibration that just sends this wave of like either positivity or negativity, depending on what you do to yourself. And I think that's something I've also started to really look at myself introspectively. Okay, I'm being this coach. I'm putting myself out there. I'm giving so much of myself, but what am I putting in? So, like that's really difficult for me, because I'm always in the mindset of, I need to give more. Right. Hey, someone's coming in for open gym. And it's kind of crazy to be like, well, I need to put something in. Like, how am I going to put this in? Do I have time to put this in? I have to make time to put this. Oh, maybe he's not coming to the gym. You just gave me a psych. All right. Anyway, yeah, so it's just kind of this mindset of, do I have time? Of course I have time. I have to make time. And it's difficult for me even as a coach. I was talking to this other strength and conditioning coach, the guy that, comes in with his fiance. He was telling me the same thing, and we've talked about this too. Like, as coaches, like it's hard. Like, we're putting out so much energy. Like, we're demonstrating exercise. We're giving our time, our voice, our energy, our attention, our caring. The coach's eye nonstop. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of time and energy. And like, I just got done with the class. I'm sweating buckets. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. Like, just from demonstrating like a few deadlifts, demonstrating like pull-ups and proper mechanics. Like, I'm like dying. And on top of that, I have to be encouraging, and I have to like step up and be like, you got this, and inspire them. Who's going to inspire me? Like, that's something that I've started to ask myself. Like, do you go through that? Like, I'm having, after I got back from my trip from Idaho, I started to really question these things a lot about myself. Like, am I really like putting this in? Like, anyway, I was wondering what you thought. I'm gonna see what he's
yeah, go check out, see if he's gonna get his workout on. He's welcome to come in and just chill with us. Yeah, come on in. And Dave, nice to meet you. We got Dave in the house. Nice. So one of the things that kind of strikes in me is that that there's also an easy. Ria, nice to meet you. I think it also creates, though, Sumer, like the ability to also see where you're lacking, right? Where you can fill that gap, because it becomes more truth telling, but not self-reliant. But because, like, if you surrender to that you're disturbing that energy, you can also see that the things that you try, what is lacking in those, like the difference between being naturopathic versus like chemicalpathic. That if you're nurturing all those different things, that you can see there aren't really quick solutions, that they're only just kind of hard truths that you have to face.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's like that's the thing. Like, hard truths are like hard to accept, right? Because they're so like in your face. They're like always in your face. Right. But I think there's a lot of humility and a lot of lessons to be learned from that. And when it comes to yourself, I think it's by far one of the most valuable things you can ever do as a human being is like face those hard truths and then really see what the lessons are. Like, I think that's huge.
Do you want to
wrap this up?
Wrap this one up?
We'll go part 2.
Yeah, because
we can talk about this all
this was this was actually it turned in a totally different direction, and I don't want to kind of tarnish it by talking about resistant starch and and the experiment that I'm going to run with Bob's potato starch. So
I will. Talk about next time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time, because it might be a very risky thing for me. So I'm kind of excited. Oh, it's going to be maybe gross.
What was the starch again?
Resistant starch. I'm going to use just potato starch in water.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'll get into it, but there's an entire weird, interesting science behind it.
Now. Like,
yeah.
What is that?
Oh, cliffhanger. All right, well, check out the email us your questions at wellbeingpodcast@gmail.com. And all the social medias are all the same. Yeah, exactly. Coach Scott Frost everywhere, and Train Life Fit everywhere, and websites coming soon and all that. But we'll catch you in with everybody soon.
All right, guys. Peace.